I want to tell, and I shall be telling this story, that the roads diverged in wood, in dry land, in the waters, and in the forests. I took the one less traveled, and it has made all the difference. Welcome back. My name is Amike Omuba. Our last series, we were talking about awakening African Zuckerbergs, or awakening the young entrepreneurs in Africa. Young, unfortunately, have found themselves on their own. They are to decide their own futures. Unfortunately, the adults have let them down. The belief that the adults had it all figured out has dissipated. A time to decide their own future because they are on their own. Welcome back and walk with me. We said that the employees only earn part of what they give in as their effort. Employees' income is less than their effort. All right? We talked about that. We also said that the self-employed, the effort of the self-employed gives them equal to their results. And therefore we are saying whatever the self-employed make is equal to their effort. That is the relationship. You work extra, you get extra. If you don't work, you don't get. All right? Good. The business owner, we said their income or their expected result is always greater than or equal to their effort. And simply, we said this simply because they have an employee or many employees. They depend on other people's time. So a business owner earns greater than what their input is. The last quadrant was on the investor. And we said that the investor has a potential to earn exponentially. I'll give you an example of equity. Chairman Munga is the founder. He's the owner of equity. But he does not work in equity. And therefore, when his shares are appreciating, he doesn't put any effort per se. He has invested in Equatorial Nuts and many other companies, and including Pioneer School. He's not a teacher. He's not running the school. And therefore, he earns for just sitting down. He could be in Mombasa and his school is earning him money. All right? That's where investors are. And therefore, I want to persuade the young people to really take time to consider what quadrant out of the four that they want to operate in. We have talked about the quadrant of the employees, the quadrant of the self-employed, the business owners quadrant, and the investors quadrant. Is it possible, and we say this is not a drastic decision, can you consider operating probably in both? You are employed, yes. Can you consider starting operating in another quadrant as you're still working so that your income is generating, money for the next quadrant? All right? Now, I want to say that since the adults don't have it figured, if you do not make those decisions or postpone those decision-making journeys, then you are doing yourself a lot of injustice. We said that you cannot solve today's problem with the same mentality that created them. The same adults that we entrusted with our government are involved in corruption. The same people that we entrusted with creating jobs for the young have failed us. The same people have not figured it out. So we cannot expect the same people to solve our problems. And therefore, it's a millennial awakening moment where we take up control and grab it from them. All right? They say power is never given. The power over your life cannot be given freely. You have to take it by force. I like what the good book says. that from the times of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. All right? So the young people have got to realize that this dispensation is not to beg and plead for favors, to beg and plead for kazi mtaani. It's time to give those kazi to their fellow youths. And that is where I want to invite you again to my channel. In another series, we talked about the regrets of the dying, or the regrets of the old people. We said, after interviewing all of them, the main feeling was that they regret having not done or made some decisions when they were younger. Now, one of the decisions that we captured and talked about was that they did not take risks or enough risks when they were younger. Now, can I challenge you as a young person? You need to consider the reasoning behind you not taking decisions, your indecision. What is the reasoning behind it? Is it fear? Yeah? That unpleasant feeling or emotion that is caused by pain or danger or harm that is impending, like you have assumed a danger and it's not even happened. Yeah? It's a fear of the unknown, almost taking you into a stupor, like a frenzy. Yeah? You worry until you freeze. Yeah? You cannot even think because you are immobilized. You immobilize your mental capacity to make decisions or to think calmly. Yeah? Now, I want to battle this fear, the fear of taking risks because you are scared of the unknown. Now, how many times can you die? We said the richest place on earth is in the graveyard, because all the dreams and the desires that were not accomplished are lying there with the dead. Now, I want to challenge you to combat that fear. Now, the law of combat says that you lose 100% of the shots that you don't take. That is the law of combat. Yeah? The law of natural wastage adds to that and says that whatever you don't use, you will lose it. For example, if you decide that from today you are not going to be using this arm and you tie it to your shoulder for 1 year, after 1 year, all the muscles and the ability to use that arm will be lost. So it's the law of natural wastage, the law of natural attrition. You lose whatever you don't use by wearing out, Even if you buy a seat and put it in a nice room for 100 years, it will wear out. A car that is not moving still wears out. It will rust and eventually it will not be able to move. So you want to take decisions, because even if you don't, you will still lose whatever, even the mental abilities that you have. Talk about the talents. The good book again talks about snatching those abilities or those talentings and giving them to other people, because you never use them. All right? So I provoke the youth. I want to provoke the youth to face their fear. Yeah? Face it. And we said, let's name those fears. What are we exactly scared about? Name them. Yeah? Approach me. Come and bring those fears to me. And we'll be able to deconstruct the sequence of your thought line. Yeah? Sometimes you have magnified your problem. All right? Can we break it down and come up with small actionables? So I want us to challenge our fear, because it's our greatest enemy to challenging status quo. Please stay tuned for part 2.